Hi there, thanks for joining me today. Lovely to see you. This is your weekly tarot forecast. So we're coming to the end of July. This month has gone so fast. So I can think of this as the 5th week in July because it's Monday the 27th today. And so of course it goes through to August the 2nd. So the first part of August coming into play. Now, for those you who are new to my channel, just giving the cards a quick shuffle. This is a helper card for the month, and it is the Knight of Cups. So let's see what else we're going to add into the mix. Okay, so we're coming into first part of the week, and it's the Three of Swords. All right. Hangman. So a major Arcana card, number 12, which happens to also be a 3. And let's see what else we've got here. And the 10 of Wands, which I've also had this month as well. So let's have a look. So anyhow, as those of you who have been watching my videos, this Knight of Cups, this is a helper card, so I come think about it. It's either an opportunity or a lesson to be learned, or it could be also someone who comes into your life who has a message or some sort of information that's going to be useful to your situation. Alright, so Monday, Tuesday, middle of the week, end of the week, and then the energy of all three kind of makes up the importance of this week. So with this helper card, this Knight of Cups, remember he's often bringing a message or an invitation that it's been a night, so it's about an action that will occur. But here being this Knight of Cups could be information or a situation that's going to bring some sort of emotional benefit. But basically this energy is around, being very sensitive, sweetness of heart type thing, empathy, being very creative, balancing sort of your ideas with heart, those having a heart-to-heart conversation, things like that. So as the first part of the week comes into play, we've got the Three of Swords here. Now this is a card that most people, a lot of people, when they see it, kind of shake their head. Because, there's no doubt these three swords have pierced this heart, and that is what has happened. There is some sort of situation, sadness, perhaps rejection, feeling of grief or separation. But the reality is with this card, it's happened. The swords have already pierced the heart. So it's not like an event that's coming that's going to give you a sense of sadness or grief. It's like it has happened. So it's like you'll know what this is because it will already be around you. And remember with grief or sense of sadness that we're all extremely different. And something that I may find quite deeply sad or cause of heartache may have absolutely no impact on the next person. It could just roll off them. So I always think when I see this card, remember that we're all very different, and we're all unique in our own sense of grief. And with this Knight of Cups, be mindful to be compassionate to somebody else's grief. Even though for you the situation, you might be thinking, gosh, I wouldn't really be that upset about it. To another person, that could be quite a deep felt heartache. And so if you find that somebody in your situation you feel is having a hard time, be mindful of that and give them lots of love and compassion, even if it's something that you yourself may not necessarily have grieved. This Three of Swords is also reminding us that we have the capacity to rise above or to manage our obstacles, and it's saying that when you're able to do that, when you're able to look at the things that are causing you grief, you actually can learn a great deal from this. You can learn from your mistakes or learn from the past situations that have caused you grief. But the reality is that the situation has happened because the swords and it's like, and also remember, it's about the mind. It's about the mind's reaction to something that has caused the pain of the heart. So focus on the recovery of the situation. Focus on how your mind needs to let go of the pain, acknowledge the past but let go of the pain. be mindful and aware of how you are, your mind is interacting with your deep felt reactions to a particular situation, and sort of acknowledge and release that grief. It is a 3. And I like to always keep mindful of that this is a 3. And remember, the 3 is a very powerful card. It's a combination of beginning, reasoning, and rebirth. And the Hangman here is also a 3. It's a 12, so it's a 3. So this 3 energy is going to be very important this week. So 3s it's very dynamic. It's about yes, new things. It's about acknowledging the past. It's about rebirth. It's about the potential of good things coming, expansiveness, expansive thinking, letting go of past hurts, and it's about finding the positivity in a situation and striving towards a successful outcome, seeing the truth through the deception. Better to feel the pain and the hurt of a truth than the comfort of a lie. That's sort of what I think of it when I think of this 3 of Swords. So see the truth of the matter, look through the deception, know that your ideas, your mental processes can either liberate you or bind you to a situation. So which do you want? What is the outcome that you most desire? Now, the Hangman here, which we've mentioned as a 12, so it's also a 3, follows along with those messages of the 3, and perhaps even so more powerfully, because it is a major arcana. So here, this figure is hanging upside down of their own free will. Now, what you'll note when the Hangman comes up, there's an action that wants to happen. So it maybe you want to react to this pain. So there's definitely an action or a drive for focusing on doing something about a particular situation. And what the Hangman's trying to say to you is it's not actually the time to make firm decisions. It's a time for reflection. It's a time to suspend your ego, to suspend the ego's response to the situation. So if you're feeling that someone has hurt you and you feel somewhat betrayed, be mindful of how that's impacting your ego, because the Hangman's saying it's time to perhaps pause, surrender your will to want to just sort of jump in and react. Sort of have the wisdom to see that perhaps there's a bigger picture in play here, or there's something that you can learn from this past that you can avoid repeating this situation as you move forward. The Hangman's trying to encourage you to suspend your intellectual reaction to the pain and the hurt that has occurred, and know that through that delay that really the potential for something is going to be far greater. They often, yogis believe that when you are upside down, that you have a greater connectedness to your unconscious or your subconscious, and therefore you can have a greater sense of awareness of really knowing, and that's part of the rebirth of the 12, the 3, 12 being a 3, of course. You might find that you're feeling quite vulnerable and hurt about the situation, but it's like acknowledge that, but realize that perhaps you need to reevaluate your reaction to that. And maybe it's not the time for pushing too hard or reacting too swiftly, but engage in your response and engage in the physical world from a place of inner connectedness, and that pause that can be quite valuable before we react, before we take action, particularly in response to a pain or hurt. Okay, at the end of the week, so the energy now of the 10 of Wands is going to come in and mix in with these 3. So it's a 10. 10 is a 1 and a 0, so it's about, again, it's about completion, it's about new beginnings. The 10 is reminding us, the 10 of Wands here, that we've been carrying a burden. So you might find that in a very sort of odd sort of way, once you realise the pain and the hurt and that's moved on, that maybe there was a burden related to this situation that now you can let go of. It's also reminding us that there's a cycle has come to an end, and that's an that happens, you know, and we have to accept that cycles come to an end, and therefore it's time to let go and move on. It might be also highlighting that maybe your work life is sort of a bit out of balance, that maybe you need some time out. Maybe you do need to, if you have an opportunity over the weekend to do something fun, to get some R&R, I highly encourage that. Particularly if you've been having a very difficult emotional time, we need time out to do the things that give us a sense of rest and relaxation. Be mindful that you don't, because of the pain and hurt, jump in and put more energy into your work life and sort of turn into that sort of crazy workaholic as a way to try and avoid or run away from your feelings. So examine your current situation and be mindful of, are you in balance in terms of your work and lifestyle? Are you overtired, or are you overstimulated? Are you trying to outpace yourself? Are you pushing too hard? Is that becoming a burden? Are you taking on burdens? Is this pain or sorrow that you're feeling making you feel like you've got to take on unreasonable responsibilities or unreasonable expectations? Know that, you know, the mind can be quite tricky here, and sometimes when we're feeling a lot of pain and hurt, we start to label situations that we've a sense of failure, and that we didn't achieve something to the degree that we had thought we would, or we wished, or we desired. But you have to know that and trust that what has happened is what was meant to be, and it is, because you can't change the past, it is what it was meant to be. Therefore, release those expectations and that sense of judgment and drive that is an unhealthy sense of drive, or, you know, sort of pushing yourself towards something that isn't in your best interest, and look for the new beginning, and look for the passion and the energy that you can take with these wonderful 10 wands, you know, that personal power that you have, and use that towards something new, something that is going to bring joy back into your heart. And yeah. All right. Oh, well, okay. Well, what a fantastic week this is going to be. It's going to be challenging. There's no doubt about it. The opportunity and situations around you you may find it pushing your buttons. If you use and are aware of the energy that's going to come up, then you can use it to your best advantage and manifest the outcome that you most desire. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic week. We've now, at the end of the week, we'll be into August. It's hard to believe, but the year is flying by. So I look forward to seeing you next week, and I will be posting up soon my monthly reading for August. So please check that out if you haven't. I hope you have an absolutely fabulous week, and I look forward to seeing you on my channel next week. If you'd like to catch up with me, please go to my website at www.kirawoods.com. You can also find me on Facebook and Twitter at Kira Woods Tarot. I'd love to hear from you. I do private readings. If you'd like one, please check me out. Have some specials at the moment. I also have a blog on my website. Go check that out. Please like, subscribe, share my videos, and all the very best to you. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Cheers. Bye.